Chapter 1. 1. Cross into a novel and turn into a Gao Fushuai. You are listening at FameTV.info. I have crossed into a novel. On top of that, my identity is a Gao Fushuai, 1, villain. Lin Yuan had a strange expression on his face as he perceived the memory in his head. It seems like I have traversed. Furthermore, he had traversed to an urban romance novel that he had recently finished reading. The title of the book is The Strongest Soldier King Zhongqinghua 2. The background of the story is mainly in the city of Jiangbei in China. The story is about the protagonist Yi Feng, who is a retired soldier king and comes to Jiangbei city from abroad. This is the starting point of the legendary story. Yi Feng encounters countless beautiful women in the process of being famous through China, such as Campus Belle, Iceberg Female President, Attractive Policewoman, Beautiful Doctor, Pretty Twins, Rich Second-Generation Fiancé. However, the villain of the novel Lin Yuan gets a miserable end to his life. As he opposes the protagonist, not only does he get repeatedly face-slapped, but his woman turns to the protagonist and his family ultimately goes bankrupt, even though he is a rich and handsome guy. Advertisements, can I remove him from this world? Lin Yuan could not help but curse as he thought about the tragic experience of the character. Ding! The counterattack system has started. Lin Yuan's eyes lit up as he heard the sound in his mind. As he often reads novels, he is certainly aware of systems in novel fiction. How useful is this counterattack system? Lin Yuan wondered. Counter-attack system's mission is to help the host counterattack. It will not allow the host to make idiotic mistakes like a greenhorn. The host will get to make choices in pivotal points of the storyline, and the rewards will be based on the choices you make. Also, if you plunder the opportunities, luck, status, etc., of the original protagonist, you can get counterattack points, which in turn will make you stronger. Lin Yuan understood after the system explained everything. His thoughts were in perfect sync with the mission of the system. He didn't want to be beaten by the protagonist in the same way as in the book and ultimately suffering bankruptcy. With his knowledge of the storyline and the assistance of the system, Lin Yuan decided to reverse his destiny. I will plunder your opportunities, snatch your luck, and get your women. He wants to smash the protagonist's halo personally. Since the host has understood everything, the story will officially begin from now. In the blink of an eye, Lin Yuan found himself seated in a coffee shop. An extremely beautiful woman was seated opposite to him. Her beauty made it seem like she had come out of a painting. Her long hair dangled over her shoulders like a waterfall. Her facial features were truly flawless. When you combine the two, it was enough to stupefy most people. Any person would find it enjoyable to just look at her face alone. The perfect figure under her blue dress would make it more difficult for any man to gaze away from her. It was hard to find any shortcomings in her appearance. Alas, her pretty face was icy cold at the moment, and impatience could be seen in her eyes. It is worthy of being the perfect heroine in the novel, with her being even more dazzling than most superstars. Even if you are harsh with your scoring, she will be still scored highly. Lin Yuan had a calm expression on his face as he thought inwardly. The extremely beautiful woman seated in front of him was no other than the #1 heroine in the novel and his fiancée, Yan Riyue. Although she was nominally his fiancée, the marriage contract was an agreement made by their families. Yan Riyue didn't have the slightest favorable impression of him, and even somewhat disliked him. Lin Yuan is a thorough licking dog, free, in the novel, and fanatically tries to please Yan Riyue. However, this not only did not yield any results, but at the end of the book he had lost all of his wealth and his precious life. Furthermore, the original protagonist even destroyed his family clan and got them bankrupt. Truly, the licking dog did not die a good death, but it is impossible for me to be a licking dog. Lin Yuan shook his head as he thought. As Yan Riyue saw Lin Yuan shake his head, she found it harder and harder to endure and finally could not help but rudely say, I called you over today as I wanted to tell you something. Lin Yuan had already confirmed what time point he had crossed over when he heard her opening statement. This passage in the book is when Lin Yuan was diligently courting Yan Rue all day long, so much so that the pestering was beyond her endurance. So, she invited him to this cafe and had a face-off with him. But Lin Yuan not only did not converge but rather his courtship became even more extreme. Yan Rue was naturally not aware that Lin Yuan had already guessed what she was about to say next. Thus, she continued, "Can you stop following me? It's annoying. If you have time, you can." "Okay." Lin Yuan unexpectedly interrupted her. "Ah." Yan Rue was a little dumbfounded with the sudden interruption of Lin Yuan. She had prepared herself to give a lengthy speech to convince Lin Yuan not to follow her. However, Lin Yuan not only agreed but also interrupted her. This made Yan Rue extremely flabbergasted and also a bit uncomfortable at the same time. Yan Rue was not aware that this Li Yuan was not the original Li Yuan, who used to lick her like a dog. Thus, Lin Yuan was naturally not interested in have a long-term dialogue with her. "Do you promise not to follow me all the time?" Yan Rue asked again with a hard-to-believe expression on her face. "Why should I follow you?" Lin Yuan asked back. Yan Rue was stupefied for a short while. "Is there anything else? If not, I will go first." Lin Yuan said expressionlessly. Seeing Lin Yuan's slightly indifferent look, Yan Rue's red lips opened slightly, but she didn't know what to say. Did Lin Yuan take the wrong medicine today? Not only did he immediately agree not to follow her, but he also was going to leave now. If the original Lin Yuan was here, he would perform exactly as Yan Rue thought, licking her even harder and continuing to pester her. However, now Lin Yuan will not. But it is a good thing that the discussion has gone smoothly. Although it was strange, Yan Rue had a sigh of relief as she reached an agreement with him. She picked up her bag and was ready to leave. Suddenly, Lin Yuan shouted at her. "Wait a minute." "What?" Yan Rue turned back, showing an annoyed expression on her face. Could it be that Lin Yuan would go back on his words and continue to pester her? References. 1. Mr. Perfect, i.e. tall, rich and handsome. 2. It basically means that he conquers all the girls he comes across. I cannot translate the two words into exact English equivalents. Zongqing means moves unhindered. Huadu means all virginity of girls. Any suggestions would be welcomed. 3. Licking a dog. A man that puts himself in a subservient/submissive position under women in hopes of winning them over, without the female bringing anything to the table. It is an expression that has become popular in the age of the internet. An American close equivalent will be simp. Listen to the full novel at FameTV.info, direct link in the description.